Who would have thought that an agent with a double jet dash and untethered chamber teleport would be broken? G2 did, ASCENT is back, and these North American superstars are pioneering this new meta with Waylay at the helm. In today's match, Giacomo put the hurt on Aspas and friends with a fiery 18-6 half. But hold on. Every analyst, content creator, and pro I've talked to, even myself, called this new duelist dog shit. Were every single one of us wrong? Yes. Waylay is amazing, and she's blitzing the entire Valorant player base at the speed of light. The Blitz desktop app is free and offers advanced analytics about your rank games that you never knew. Like if you're matched with someone who's going to throw your game, you'll know as soon as agent select and save precious RR. Blitz will also tell you your teammates' strengths and what your enemy's weaknesses are so you can play to these to min-max your win percentage. This app also tracks your best agents, maps, and weapons, telling you where you need to improve. They also feature a real-time in-game dynamic stats overlay that shows you whether or not you need to adjust your playstyle mid-game. Finally, once the game ends, there's post-game insights analyzing every area of your performance. The Blitz also supports League, Marvel Rivals, Apex, Fortnite, CS2, Power World, Destiny 2, Escape from Tarkov, and a ton more. So, the Blitz desktop app is free, helps you improve, and fuels these high-quality breakdowns. What more do you want? Guys, if I didn't believe in Blitz, I wouldn't have had them sponsor my channel literally 20 different times. Download the Blitz desktop app for PC by clicking the link down in the description. So why are teams choosing Waylay over every other duelist? Well, it's because of her reach. Originally, I thought Riot's newest duelist sucked because she wasn't self-sufficient like the rest of the cast. Like Jett can dash into her own cover she makes for herself, and Neon can stun, slide, and still get one-tapped, or Yoru can flash for his own gate crash. But Waylay can zoom into the middle of the open and die. See, she's reliant on her teammates to clear out parts of the map so that she can abuse her light speed to capitalize faster than any agent Valorant has ever seen. So on Pistol, G2's plan is to obliterate A, have Giacomo go farm, and let Leaf lurk in their 4-1. The attackers are so confident that they can set Giacomo up for success that he has purchased full utility and is diving in headfirst into A, butt naked, only armed with his classic. But there's a problem with this strat. I might be all clumped up like this ball of raisins I found in my trail mix on A. Like, who thought it'd be a good idea to put these in here? Raisins suck. Will G2's A hit be strong enough to take on this gamble stack? The match starts with both teams trading a one-way for a flash, and Valen swings by himself?
What the? Are you guys kidding me?
Sorry. Whoopsie. That's their smokes. Maybe they just don't want everyone to get tagged by a knife. It could be an anti-strat. Maybe they're confident in an Omen teleporting across like this? I have no idea. But with A main under their control, the rest of the offense stop baiting their Omen, group up near the choke, and everyone lines up their utility.
Here comes that dark cover over towards door. Execute utility, MIBR. They are stacked up here, to be fair.
Oh, here's Jorg already at the 4. Has that refract available, but will probably just stick here at the front of the side.
The entirety of A was smothered. Omen's Paranoia cleared Jenny, Teo Salvos checked off Dice, Attic, and the right side of Hell. KO's knife got everything, and if you look even closer, Giacomo has a saturate lineup for door. Sova couldn't flood in and shoot him in the back. Then the smoke in Heaven, bellissimo. Not only does it make swinging Heaven awkward, but also serves as a one-way for the other side of Hell, which led to Jog's second kill. So, combine all this utility, and it forces you to swing out into the open, or die. But Teets, you clown! Bricks wasn't touched. Or cardboard. What if someone was playing there? Well, Jimmy, this is what we call educated gambling, which is what I don't do with my sponsor money. See, it's pistol round. Odds are that Omen isn't buying teleports, Jett isn't getting her updraft, and these angles are one and dones compared to the rest of the spots that exist on A, which are hard to clear. So G2 rolled the dice and didn't plan on any defenders playing there. Oh, and by the way, all the way from Timbuktu, Leaf has sent in a Razorbind for Heaven. Aspas is stuck in the open since he went for this kill. He doesn't have the HP to go back.
The front of the side. Spike is loose though in A main, and Aspas has an opportunity to look over that part of the map, but Jorg is just clean with it. Headshot against the Jett. Kaiju down, folks. Oh my god, no! What? Cuts the legs out from under Trent, but Jorg is on his fourth. You've got to give him more than that, surely. Jorg is hungry for it. What's the right click? And it'll be stolen from him, okay.
I lied to you guys. Whoa, don't click off or unsub. I really need the ad revenue. But Waylay can kind of set herself up. If you combine her light speed with her refract, she can fly forward, gather a boatload of info, and teleport out. Doing this tells your team where to aim their abilities, and you can dumpster on the defense. So she is kind of her own initiator. Don't believe me? Well, f you, the dev who created Waylay said it themselves. And if you still somehow don't think that's true, watch this. G2 are slamming BS5, while MIBR have all saved their money, except for Aspas. This world-class aimer is fighting B main with Verno and Cortesia gathering him intel. Yeah, there's 3 here, but their goose is cooked. The round opens with both teams playing it real quiet. Aspas drifts into main, and G2 finally start their push.
Back on map 1.
Yep, 7 kills in 2 rounds.
Honestly, a little surprised to not see him playing it here, but ignore, what is it, reject modernity, embrace tradition.
Exactly.
I do think Aspas pressed the eject button a bit too early. Your team is broke, and someone needs to make a play against all these guns. And nothing truly pushed him off the angle. The paranoia came after he dashed. But then again, this was a lot of utility. The missiles flushed Cypher out of logs, and even he thought Aspas could still fight. That's why Cortesia's first instinct was to run to main. He wanted to take some duels. And now with the defense pushback, Trent pops a stealth drone, but Aspas breaks it early. Logs is clear, there's 1 lane, but someone still needs to flush out Boathouse.
Cortesia caught out there, of course, by that salvo. Couldn't quite escape. Beautifully laid down there by Trent. He was 0-3, first kill, first death in that previous game. So a tough one for him, but again, the util usage was where it needed to be. Aspas doing
Weak Trent. Could certainly see MIBR getting away with well. No, maybe not. Leaf gets that nice clean.
What other agent can do that? By teleporting switch, Jogamo not only clears these angles, but also closes the door to prevent his team from getting spammed or flood out on. Valen pre-fired Verno off this intel, and Aspas got 2. I told you that that sheriff was dangerous. But G2's Waylay secured the anti-eco. On G2's bonus, they just won A. And it was going really well. They took main, beat the defense back, swung, traded, and were up 3 versus 4. But then Zenom turned into Venom.
It's messy. G2 showing us a little bit of aggression. A keenness to fight, but how to identify that spray transfer, that is.
That brings us to the first full buy versus full buy. Whichever team loses this one has to save next. So G2 are busting out a never-before-seen Waylay strat, while MIBR have bought a judge. To start, the offense are defaulting mid in their 4-1, but are eventually splitting B. But Teets, G2 don't have a Sova! How do they take mid without a dart? Think, Timmy. Counter-Strike players never had things like sissy darts and drones. They got their hands greasy with their good old flashes and solid spacing. If you don't have crutches like scans or tripwires, quit being a baby and use your eyes and the rifle in your hands. Trade each other. God, you kids have it too easy nowadays. G2 bursts behind the buy barriers behind missiles, a flash, and Jogamo clears mid. Trust me, anyone in this area is getting suplexed. But he's not committing to market yet. Step 2 of the attacker's plan is to take B main, which they have with Vice's Arcros. Now for the grand finale, Jogamo stares into the corner like he's in timeout, and Trent sends a spider down B main to help his duelist aim his ult.
Remember, hindrance doesn't slow you down. It affects your fire rate, your recoil recovery, your util readying, everything. Jorg with that speed boost now can move on in and decided to straight up give it up by MIBR. They'll play for this retake.
Yeah, they have no options. You do not want to be stood in that hindrance.
And the site is theirs. From this corner, Waylay can better aim her conversion paths to rock market plus whatever the drone saw, which was Cypher. This allowed the main attackers to come out safely even without a space maker. And because this ult gives Waylay a speed boost, Jog just swung mid and used his saturation to deter a peek. This duelist is fast. Now while site might belong to G2, there's still one problem. MIBR have a ton of utility, meaning if the offense just sit on site, they're going to get hit by a truckload of utility. So with nothing left in the tank, Jogamo steps up.
So frustrating to play around.
Jog is so
Okay, oh, what a timing to catch as Cortesia was on the drop.
That's a start. G2's duelist repositions to market next on a disgusting off angle. But how do you even begin to retake this? Verno just got gushed in spawn. MIBR throw in the towel and make the call to save. Sure, they'll lose, but if the defense can manage to trap the offense in and die to the spike, that'll ruin G2's economy. But Jogamo's not finished.
Just digging the Cypher out. Okay, there it is. The timing is so good. He hears Artazine try and back away. Shenom wisely opts to TP across the breach. And Aspas could probably come out here with one or more, but might have to give the rifle up. Gotta reveal himself. Awkward.
G2 are slamming A again in their 1-4, while the defense are anchoring B with 2, Jet soloing mid, and these guys are fighting A main with their trusty Bucky, which can be the counter to G2's comp, but I'll explain after this.
Sat at 7 for 1 MIP. Right forward past them one way, and it works so far.
Give him a shotgun, he will party.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but yeah, this comp does struggle with countering shotguns or close angles. Tell me, class, what are the offense missing? V-Bucks! Peter Griffin! Skibbity Toilet! A big booty Latina! God, you guys are hopeless. No, Sova! Without his Aldrone or Recon, spots like these become a lot stronger. Remember when Jogamo flew over Archers last round? Well, if someone was just playing here, they have a decent shot at killing him. Or remember on Pistol how G2 just left bricks open? Well, their comp is good at brute forcing their way onto sites, but they only have so much utility. Without any scans to cover majority of sites, or to snuff out shotguns, or these usual one and dones, these positions become powerful. But here, ASCENT just caught G2 by surprise, but that's their smokes. The attackers elect to back out and want to work up mid for a potential B split as Leaf works on taking main. But in the meantime, Jonah launches a cross-map knife to snuff out Wine and main. To the defense, a majority of the offense are still here. And now because of this early round fight, Jet has given up mid to go help A, and Cypher has recalled his lane trip and eventually swaps places with Sova, who picked up Market to lay down his wire. And after he does, Cortezia gets an idea. The enemy team doesn't have smokes, and the enemies are in A. I should have time to move into spawn and punish these apes.
Valuable player for MIBR, Leaf.
In the span of 2 seconds, MIBR went from totally owning this round to disaster. All of mid is now open, Verno's all by himself, and Leaf is 1 point off his Steel Garden.
That one kill now is going to start to sow the seeds of discord amongst the defenders. Okay.
And that's it. The round's over. Because Cypher decided to drift out into the open while G2 was looking for a kill, that forced Verno to make a play and swing Leaf when he most expected it. The dude was getting crunched, but getting 2 spawn would have been strong. I mean, it's better than Market where you can get pinched. Without smokes, it is near impossible to take sight against a solid crossfire. Now, if it was your team's win condition to get to spawn, why not have your Sova burn his recon? All this losing forces MIBR to take a timeout. Oh, Magic Coach Man, what do we need to do to stop getting our asses beat?
Nothing.
Coming out of the timeout, MIBR didn't change anything? Why? And how come KO's always the one with the shit weapon? See, the reason why Sovas play B is because they used to be able to shred this wall apart with an Odin, but not anymore. On ASCENT, you have to fight for the mains, as if you allow the offense to get to these chokes, they're just going to explode on you. So are these two that good at fighting? Not really. This reinforced wall destroyed that Odin strat, and their positioning isn't that great. Cypher has a spy cam above him, and he's jiggling the entrance. There's no replay system, so I can't know for certain, but I think he's ripping a shot dart off Cypher's signal. Not that bad, I guess, but why not just swap KO and Sova? Hear me out. How does the offense counter this 0 point? They can't. Either get suppressed or concede the space. Or maybe a sick flash trap would be way cooler where this cam acts as the trigger. Then on A, Sova can still use that Odin. He can punish the plant, or a door closer, people trying to split through tree, or obliterate anyone on site when your team is prepping a retake. Maybe lay down some suppressive fire on tiles while your duelist works up mid. I'm not sure when this video is being released, but I predict that we're going to see Sovas shift off B and swap places with KO or someone on A because of this new reinforced wall. So coming out of their timeout, MIBR didn't change anything, while G2 are predicting that the defense are going to make a super aggressive play. In theory, G2 should be focused about whatever they talked about in their timeout and won't expect to play like this. But they are. By starting in this triangle formation, G2 have a crossfire set up to combat pushes from either lane. But the round starts quietly from the defense. They one-way main, and Leaf slows catwalk, and Flash is made to check if anyone's walked down. They're in the clear. So because the defense haven't pushed up anywhere, the offense move up B main, Trent drones, Juggernaut tries to punish Cortezia for trying to break it, and Chaos suppresses switch. Cypher has to retreat and barely gets his cage off. And with MIBR side anchor on the back foot, it's time for Jog to go.
They just want to get into this be psyched they want to get in fast.
Oy, okay, Whiplash anybody?
G2's utility timing might have been off and couldn't prevent Sova from flooding out for market, but that's the beauty of Waylay. Jugamo thought that he had to take that timing to capitalize on Cypher's retreat, but got out as soon as he realized he was in danger. But Teets, he just blew all of his utility. He has nothing left. How did G2 get out of B main without a space maker? Jimmy, Jugamo didn't just throw his abilities in the trash. By flying out this far, he cleared lane, logs, and switch. That's so much info. With that knowledge, Valen blinds lane, stairs, and Jugamo just walks out. Since this half of B is clear, he keeps his crosshair trend on market until he gets to stairs and calls for a flash.
Having the Waylay, you can get in, get a lot of the util out, and then re-hit.
Timing! Oh, Aspas falls! Cortez at least able to trade it. Here comes Trent and Leaf though by Speedway. Door's gonna come down and mark it. It's gonna have to be banged open by Verno because his teammate needs help.
Jugamo has opened the site for his team, 3-on-3. Valen smokes stairs and hops inside to contest an early retake, but the defense are taking their time. Until Trent rips ASCENT through this wall, and now the defense needs to isolate an equalizer before burning the paranoia. Verno starts by reconning B, that's clear, so he walks down lane.
Random spam through, that
Must have been.
only the man with the stinger, but still, Verno, what a pick to find.
He'll be slowed up though. That Teo util will make this a bit awkward. It's now a 2v2. Verno has to make the play. Verno, the one that couldn't complete it previously, and Jonah! The professor does the math.
The game is 1/4 of the way done, and MIBR can finally afford an op, but their 2-1-2 plan remains the same. Should it though? G2 are close to 2 big ultimates. Why not throw the Elo cannon on one of the wings and have Sova set him up? Surely we can come up with something better than having your Cypher swing with a shock, right? Now G2 are in the same 1-4 A-hit spread as Pistol. The round opens up with ASCENT suppressing main, tagging Jugamo and Valen. Waylay, Omen. That's a dead giveaway that the attackers want to go A. So G2 slow their roll and expect rotates to be coming this way. Eventually, G2 jumble up their positions to get ready for an A split. These 3 through Cat, and these 2 through main to get Trent's ult. And now the defense see nothing B, have lost A, and their ops kinda holding mid, so the defense want to regain some map control.
Most of the time. Oy, okay,
G2 are up, and Trent clears out this entire half of A. You will never see a recon dart doing that. But Verno spams Valen through the smoke. While you're waiting for your team to retake, why not rip some shots into smokes or penetrate walls? It's a 3-on-3, Jugamo plants, and MIBR's new plan is to let the op peek out of heaven with the info Cortez is going to grab with his neural theft. Once this ult goes off, the defense know exactly where the remaining attackers are and know exactly how to line up their utility.
Should be pretty obvious to MIBR though, expecting a player A main, 2 on the site.
Yeah, honestly, won't be any time to use that ult. It's going to come down to the gunfights. Can Aspas actually get a kill?
Unreal.
He does. That's a great opener.
In a split second before the Teo util comes in, he gets the shot, now it's up to Jorg. 1v3, Verno's down, he's knocking him apart. Above him, Aspas, the headshot connects, and surely not Jorg. He's done it again! It's just unreal!
Despite pulling a Doc Rivers and choking a 3-1 lead, MIBR bounced back and hit some nice shots. Aspas made a big play with his Bladestorm, they got one with their Cypher setup, and the defense got proactive, retaking B through all 3 chokes. But without any guns, they could only make it a 2 versus 1.
Hears it all though, gets his way up Speedway, knows he's got to deal with 2 here. Oh, buddy! Cortez's head rolls instantly, and now Artezine has to make this work. He has a fragment to hold Leaf at bay. That is a huge piece of util. And Leaf's going to go for it, take the fight, sees the head, the spray though is wayward.
With their second win of the half, MIBR are able to afford another op and are fighting B main this time. But with a second convergent path, G2's plan is to split A in a way that you've never seen before. I guess you could say they're taking the path less traveled, because Waylay's ult is called. Remember when I explained that G2's comp sucks at clearing these usually one-and-dones? Well, MIBR have adjusted. Omen's hold up near bricks, while KO supports him in any way he can. Round 9 opens up with an immediate exchange of smokes. One for Jog to walk out of tiles, another to pressure A main, and a knife to clear out all of Catwalk. No one being here gives the offense the green light to start creeping up mid, and Vice throws the smoke to prevent a swing. Then G2 get close and line everything up.
Keep them guessing.
And they're kind of slowly splitting up into A, and then they excel off this ultimate. Look at the speed from Jaw off the ultimate conversion path.
There's the timing though behind him.
Okay, that's pretty unlucky, but G2's plan was to launch Waylay down tree behind this paranoia and split A from 3 different angles. Now, maybe Jog could have slowed the smoke, but his ult reached so deep, how could you expect Cortezia to be here already? Well, because Aspas pushed through main and saw no one there, this allowed Cypher to reinforce A. Now he's swinging heaven, Zemon's protecting himself with a mid-sight smoke, and Cortezia adds on an extra layer with his cage. Pile on a paranoia, Sova being here, and Jet pinching through catwalk, and the offense have a full plate.
Do feel like they're committed, I guess.
And they are committed past the door.
Okay, Valen down, Trent also struggling, lead! Gets 2.
Oh my god, spotted ahead of Shenum. He knows his path to the right side of hell right now. Aspas has to break through the door.
He's a wild card, but he has to give himself a way to get to the side, and here's that steel guard, and awkward for Shenum now. Double swing should take him out.
G2 have successfully overcome the stack, but there's one more issue. The arguable GOAT of Valorant is knocking on door with an op in his hands.
And it's up to Aspas. He'll have access to his weapon, but it's not great here. The operator against 2. Ooh, okay, Leaf is down. Surely Jonah doesn't challenge this. Surely he sits back. Surely he lets him go. And Aspas will deliver his own brand of justice.
G2 take a timeout to find a way to kill Aspas. In game, of course. Coach, what did we do wrong that round? Well, Aspas had an op, so you just lose.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
sense.
You're right. Out of their timeout, G2 have devised a new strategy. They're eventually faking B and going A in their 1-4, while MIBR have made a small adjustment. Here, they're setting Jet up on this line so they don't need the side trip like last round and threw it on Catwalk to help these two hold A. Now, there's one problem for G2. They don't have a lot of money, but they are on attack. On this half, it is much easier to recycle your weapons after your teammates die since you're naturally clumped up. So yes, their buy is weaker, but by staying grouped, they should have a good chance. Plus, Leaf has an Outlaw, and MIBR has a few half armors. G2, you have a shot. The round opens up with the offense taking a main behind a couple missiles, Pop Flash, and KO Knife. But MIBR want to fight with a flash of their own.
Armor, so it's essentially an op-v-op battle if they happen to run into.
After ruining his teammates' retinas, Artson flung his knife for main, tagging 2 players, and G2 have accomplished step 1 of their fake. Create question marks in a main. But they give up the space. I think G2 want MIBR to retake main so that they can punish later. But are they sure the defense is going to do that? They haven't done it all game. Oh well. Jog and his friends back down while Trent's been sprinting back to B main. He throws out a stealth drone and Valen activates his From the Shadows. Combine that ult with the fact that Cypher got suppressed from all the way back here and the defense initially think it's B. For a second, Aspas isn't phased and announces to his teammates that,
I think this is a fake. These puny mortals can't fool us.
And Sova heads back to A, as does Teo. But while they're coming back, Jordan lobs a molly for wine and flash for main. But the defense respond with the paranoia and molly of their own. I think G2's missed. Artson comes out on top and the defense retreat. But do they expect the Leafs lurk?
Comes in and Artezine is able to capitalize. That's Valen out of the game. Leaf though is there. Here comes that Outlaw. Berno tries back in.
Both teams trade evenly, but G2 have sight. From safety, Jog was able to dash up and over the choke, closing the door. This allows both of his teammates to funnel in safely while he takes his refract. By teleporting back to main, he can form a stronger crossfire with his site teammates who have retreated into hell.
A shock dart, even if Verno tries to find a timing to use one.
Jonah and Trent. Oh, going to the hip there and they go down together. Jog cannot salvage things. Great little retake there for MIBR.
Last round was only a half buy for G2, but they've decided to switch up their game plan. Formed in a soon-to-be 1-3-1, mid-control is their goal, while MIBR are playing around Jonah P's null command. When you're facing one of these things, it is a really good idea to swap up where your sentinel's playing. In this game, Cypher's always been on his trips, so by slotting him in on A and a setup on B, KO's ult should get less value as he's expecting to hit Cypher when he uses it, and he's been B all game. So they've put their 2 best fighters there, Omen kinda spotting mid from spawn so he can still throw smokes without being suppressed, and these 2 are fighting A. Behind missiles, a flash, double dash, and eventual knife, the offense have made in about 10 seconds. With it, they initiate step 2 of their plan. Valen sends out a spawn smoke, maybe a second too early, as the offense group up into an A split, while Jonah P says a prayer before giving his life away.
slow a hit. Oh, man, faking up me.
Selling it. Okay, get it.
Step 2, complete. They killed their KO. And now these three smoke door and walk up main, but Artsin has a Spectre.
Though there he is, well, flashing himself in, but Aspas has the line with the op. His Artisan getting ahead of the drone.
Whether it's having worse weapons than the rest of their team or trying to sell one-person fakes, KO mains are being discriminated against or something. But this was a double fake. Look at Jogamo.
Gets his power to flex with the Spectre. Can't argue with that. Snappy stuff there from Jorgamo. Gets himself through tree. Now onto this A site again. Cortezi, though, dangerous always.
Cypher did great to try and anchor sight, popping his cage after getting forced out by these two missiles. Then I think he tried swinging with Sova's Recon from heaven, which is all Verno could do because of this Razor Vine. Now that the dust has settled, Verno tries to punish the default plant, but Jog's planning under heaven, so Verno rips another, plus some spam, putting Jogamo down to 1 HP, then Leaf blinds his own teammate. He tries dueling heaven, but now he's one shot. You could just give G2 a dirty look, and they'd all topple over.
In a 3v2. Oh, Aspas just a bit of spray. That's enough. Verno now surely takes timing, takes an opportunity. Leaf is looking up towards that heaven side, and there it is. Jorg has to do it with so little help, but you know he's good for it. He's just a little better.
Whenever G2 are about to lose, Jogamo just swoops in and saves the day, or is their get out of jail free card. But next round, G2 wanted a default mid, and then this happened.
Great insights from this learned and error.
Aspas studied how the offense defaulted mid previously and punished by simply dodging this flash and pre-firing where Jogamo landed last time. But the attacker still went A and plowed over the defense. That brings us to the second half, where MIBR won a split B in their 2-3, while the defense are fighting A main, Jog's patrolling mid, and Leaf is anchoring B with an awkward to counter vice wall, thorns for both lane and switch, and a flash for him to swing. It's a pretty gross setup. The round opens with both teams quickly securing their own part of the map. The defense knife and one-way A, the offense flash and run up mid. Jogamo takes a shot, backs off, and MIBR dash in and out of market, but are stalled by these missiles, which is the perfect amount of time for Jonah to lob a flash.
Slow down, wait for the rest of the team.
Okay, Jorg.
What other agent can do this? Now, yeah, Jogamo got the first blood, but Leaf is still stranded on site. He needs help.
Talk about the getaway plan. He is out of there. Might come back in with a saturate here. No, over the top of the light speed. Aspas deals with him. Again, got to get up early in the morning to come at that guy, but Leaf's able to find two, by the way. Sick map from him. But a right-click action doesn't get him there. It's up to Cortezia and Shannon, the two young guns.
From spawn, Jonah P lobs another flash for Jogamo to dash up and oversight and serve as a distraction for Leaf to trade off of. And now, I think he got blinded too, but this round just showed us multiple options Waylay has throughout the course of a round that no other agent in the game has. Plus, it helps that Jogamo is nuts. Too bad he isn't on a team with Calm anymore. He might be the world's best Sova. This video proves that claim.